Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question about this video or any other video that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. The goal of my YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking efficient, practical, and creative. And the best way to do this is to combine the 4 attributes of my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. Now, advanced prepping is really important. In this case, I'm going to show you how to cook a dish that with beef and different vegetables. Now, first of all, is that through advanced prepping, the most important thing is that you will have all the ingredients available to you as efficiently as possible. For example, in this case for beef, the cut of beef that I use is a sirloin tip. Now, in order to make the beef ready as soon as you enter into the kitchen to cook, is that you cut the beef up into what you would like for stir frying. In this case, I cut them up into thin slices. Now, as soon as you bring the beef back from the supermarket, instead of freeze it right away, is to cut it up first. This will not affect the quality of the beef, but most importantly, that it will allow you to have the beef anytime you want. And the idea is very simple. After you cut it up into the piece that you want, you're going to freeze it. In this case, I'm going to freeze it in a Ziploc sandwich bag. Now, I usually use beef as more like a condiment rather than as a main ingredient. So I'm only going to use about somewhere between 6 to 8 ounces of beef to cook a dish. Now, the key is to package your beef in this Ziploc bag in a very thin layer. And the reason is very simple, because when you freeze it like this, when you're ready to thaw it out, because of the large surface area, you can put it in a bowl of water, like a lukewarm water, and you can thaw it out in about 10 minutes or less. Now, one thing is that labeling what you package is very important. And I discovered the best way to label them is actually on the top flap of the Ziploc sandwich bag. In fact, that is the part most likely able to take the ink the best. So after I label them, I will freeze them in a horizontal position. I lay them down. And once they're frozen and they become firm, then I will stand them up. Like I will put them in a container like this in the freezer. So in this case, they're almost like files in a file cabinet. So you can leaf through it and find what you want very quickly. And the most important thing is that by labeling on the top of the flap, you can find it much easier. So as you can see here in my freezer, I have several of this container, which just about the right size for me to put each of the package in it. So this way, you can see that next to the beef, I have chicken as well. And this will allow you to have many different kinds of meat to choose from when you're ready to cook. So this not only provides the convenience, but also provide many options, and this will make your cooking more interesting. Now for this beef, I'm going to coat it with a thin layer of cornstarch. Now that is very important, particularly in this beef, I noticed that it's a little bit moist, and coated with cornstarch will absorb the moisture, and this will allow you to sear the meat much better. I'm going to cook this in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. Now this wok has a lot of advantage, and the reason I like this wok is because it has a large flat bottom surface area and it's frequently known as a wok pan. Over the years, I have tried many different kinds of woks, both in terms of material as well as the bottom surface of the wok. The traditional Chinese wok has a round bottom surface area, and the reason for that is that the round bottom will allow it to fit into the traditional wok stove, which basically is a hole with flame come from the bottom. And in the past, usually wood is being used as a source of heat. However, modern days kitchen stoves are designed for woks or designed for cooking utensil with a flat bottom surface area. So a round bottom wok really does not work. And furthermore is that a wok with a flat bottom surface area are far more versatile because now you can use it almost like a small frying pan. Now some of the woks like this one has a relatively large flat bottom surface area, which is somewhere between about 7 to 8 inches across. And this is about the size of a small frying pan, so you can use it for the purpose of searing, and that works extremely well. And as I will demonstrate to you, for searing the beef, a wok like this with a large flat bottom surface area is far more efficient as well as effective. Now, of course, some people prefer a wok with a round bottom, and in this case, you will cook it slightly differently. But with a wok like this, I want to demonstrate to you why I think it is a better arrangement. Now, first of all, I'm going to saute some fermented black soybean. The fermented black soybean used as a condiment, and I really enjoy the flavor, particularly for beef. There's a dish known as a pepper beef, which the fermented black soybean is an important component in cooking that dish. Now, in this case, it is a combination of different type of flavor in cooking this beef and the fermented black soybean because of my wife's preference for it. I'm going to use it in most of my dishes. So I'm going to layer the beef. Now here is where the flat bottom surface area is really useful, because I'm going to spread the beef in a flat area so that by spreading out, the beef will have maximum contact with the bottom surface of the wok, and this will allow me to sear the beef. Now, when you cook beef, the important thing is that you want to sear it, but you do not want to cook it more than that. So you want the beef still slightly red while you add other food ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to add is to add some garlic. Now, you notice that I use quite a bit of garlic because this makes the beef has a strong garlic flavor. Adding the garlic at this stage has really two significant purposes. One is that the garlic will lower the temperature of the wok, and therefore the beef will not overcook. And secondly, by adding the garlic at this point, it will blend with the beef, and the flavor will be more strong. Now, as you can see, the beef is about probably half cooked. You can see still the red in the beef. I immediately add the asparagus as well as some mushroom. Now, this is important because it controls the temperature of the beef. Furthermore, I also add the carrot at the same time. The temperature is really important in cooking the beef at this point. If you're able to control the temperature and allow the beef to cook slowly, the texture will be far more tender. If you cook them too fast, then they tend to be tough. So at this point is that I am controlling how fast I want to cook the beef. But you notice that the outside of the beef has been seared, as you can see the slight char texture. And the reason is because of the cornstarch has been added to the beef, and the cornstarch start to be char, and this will give the beef a nice flavor. At this point, I turn off the heat. Now, I use an electric stove, so actually there will be some residual heat. To season the dish, I'm going to start out first with some oyster sauce. This is followed by just a small amount of hoisin sauce. This is a good example of flavor chasing. I adjust the flavor of the dish based on the ingredients that I have and to the liking that I want, and also how I feel inspired at that particular time. And for this evening, I also like a little bit spiciness. So I add 1 tablespoon of fried chili in oil sauce. This is a slightly spicy sauce, but it adds great flavor to the dish without making the dish too spicy. And I find out for convenience purpose, the two sauces that I use most often is the oyster sauce and the hoisin sauce. By varying the ratio, I can create different type of flavor characteristics. And then I will add additional sauces to complement whatever that I have at the time. Now at this point, I'm going to use a small amount of water that's directly to the part of the wok that things that has burned to it. And then I use the wok spatula to scrape whatever that might attach to it. And this is a good way to actually clean the wok as well as return the flavor back to the dish. I call this method spot cleaning, and sometimes this method is also referred to as deglazing, but it's not exactly quite the same. So now the dish is done. The total cook time is only about 5 minutes. Now all of this is possible is because of advanced prepping. Now, when you use advanced prepping, you can have all the ingredients available to you before you start to cook. And now, since you don't have to do all the prepping, you can put a meal on the table in a very short amount of time. In cooking this dish, probably the part that actually turned out to be more time-consuming is to thaw out the beef. But you can always, as soon as you walk into the kitchen, the first thing you do is that you take some beef out of the freezer and put it in a bowl of lukewarm water. And during the time when it is being thawed, you can collect other food ingredients, which all the vegetables I already have in my advanced prepping. Last but not the least, I'm going to garnish this dish with some scallions, which not only add flavor to the dish, but also make the dish look more interesting. So, very simple, straightforward, and fast, and also delicious. This is a perfect way for you to have rather than eating fast and ultra-processed food. I post a video each day. The goal is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine because using my fast cooking system, it is a way for you to make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun so that it can be a viable alternative to fast and ultra-processed food. Not only you're going to enjoy the health benefit, you're also going to love the flavor of the dish. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.